liked by the sound of violence.
To me, the UFC is America's sport, partly for this reason. Because America's sport, we call the NFL, but really no sport better exemplifies the American workforce than the UFC fighter, because the American workforce is a precariat class, constantly worried about keeping a job, constantly worried about their income, where very much that's the typical fighter in MMA. You're not a member of a union. You're now it's like gig workers. You're an independent contractor called into work only when they need you. You don't have your company, your industry is dominated by a monopoly, very much similar to most industries in America now, where we've seen concentration with fewer and fewer airlines, fewer and fewer banks, fewer and fewer in everything. And so they have more control over their workers. And so I think no sport do the fighters, or I should say, do the athletes have more in common with the typical American worker than you see with MMA fighters.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. We are an MMA podcast that talks about the MMA podcasts you should catch, skip, and can't miss each week. I am Pulver, and I'm back yet again after a week off with my co-host, Chris Medaffer. How's it going, man?
Going well, not too bad. All things considered, us being having more restrictions for COVID guidelines.
For good goddamn reason.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, bro, I'm just trying to gotta live, but that means I'm trying to have fun. It's like, dude, you've been doing that for the past, 8 months?
Yeah, I know you see all the same shit on Instagram that I do of the people we know, and that shit is sketchy.
And don't get me wrong, I've done some dumb shit, too, during the pandemic.
Oh, for sure. Everybody's done at least one dumb thing, yeah. I would assume, but
yeah, at this point, let's just say I wouldn't be mad if it went back to what it was in March, where it's like, no, I don't think it would be a complete shutdown. I doubt that. It'll just be majority shutdown. Or
no indoor.
I know as it is now, you can't be out past 10 or some shit like that.
Yeah, we got curfew 10 to 5 for the next month, I believe.
So, which basically means no bars, or even if you're at an outside bar, you gotta close out your stuff by 10.
Yeah, which, I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to bars right now anyway, so.
Neither am I. I can't.
And luckily,
I have family members that have underlying health conditions, and I don't want to put them at risk, especially during Thanksgiving. So
same. Well, and I got girlfriend Karen and me both have fucking underlying health conditions. Plus, my fat ass doesn't need to be catching any more breathing problems I already fucking got. My broken ass, non-functioning nose anyway, so.
Oh shit, that's right.
Well, I mean, I just got the brutal deviated septum, but so does almost everyone I know. So, but I think I shouted this out in the past, but fucking dude, Flonase and breathe right strips changed my goddamn life. So shouts out to that shit if you guys have brutal deviated septums. But we are not sponsored by that this week, Chris, or any week really. But we are sponsored by the Papa Vodka Presents, Doug Stanhope Presents, our super real sponsors that are super not fake. And are you going to break it to the people this week, or am I?
I got a couple of unofficial stuff.
Yeah, do you? I'm curious to see what it is, considering our pre-show discussion.
I mean, well, so first things first. I've been sober since last Saturday.
That's right. Oh, well, we should clarify. You probably still been smoking hella weeds, right?
That doesn't count as sober. I'm talking about alcohol.
Right. I just wanted to let the people know.
Yes. I need the greenery to sleep. That's how I sleep.
There you go.
I have too much anxiety when I don't smoke to sleep, and then that means I can't sleep, which means I get sleep apnea, and it's not fun. And then I wake up cranky. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just having sparkling water, of course, LaCroix. is the sparkling water of choice. I'm having it in a fancy glass. My brother works at Puesto in La Jolla, and they didn't want to get rid of their old glasses, so they gave us their old ones, which are cool because there's like these little like I don't know what kind of artwork that is or whatever the fuck's inside the glass, but it's like a natural grip. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's tight.
It's like really thick glassware. So
I didn't know your brother's at Puesto now.
What's up?
I didn't know your brother's at Puesto now.
No, he's been there for like 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, I guess I always just still associate him with the old place.
He's still at George's too.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, so Kyle's working at like all the dopest restaurants in La Jolla, pretty much.
Sure, if you want to call.
I mean, okay, we should say all like the dope rich people bars in La Jolla.
I mean, I do like Puesto and George's. They do have good food.
Yeah, their food is bomb.
Yeah. So drinking some sparkling water. My other unofficial sponsor is, don't know if you can hear the background, but my roommate is playing the new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Oh, there you
He's
go.
shooting a lot of people on the video game, of course. If he was shooting someone in the house, you'd be hearing it very, very
well,
loudly.
your brother's name is Kyle.
Well, it's not him.
Okay, I was gonna say too soon for that joke, considering there was another shooting in Wisconsin today.
Oh boy, Jesus.
Anyway, probably not the best way. I'm gonna segue into my sponsor. Oh god, it says American right on it. That's a bad segue. My sponsor this week is I've been meaning to pick this up for a while. This is Michter's American whiskey, and it's probably the best whiskey I've ever had in my life, like by a pretty big margin.
How do you since I can't see, how do you spell it?
Michters.
Okay, wow. So that was how I spelled it in my head. I guess I'm just smart.
Yeah, it's their US 1 blend, and it's fucking delicious. It's just like a vanilla bomb but like very clean classic whiskey taste. I got it. I think I've had.
I like the bottle design.
Yeah, I want to say I've had their bourbon before, but I haven't had the American blend, and it's so good.
Where did you get it?
I got it at the liquor store actually near me. So, I should mention, I'm in a new location, which is why it sounds like shit right now. I have like nothing in this room, as you can tell behind me.
You're back in the city.
Yeah, I'm in Pacific Beach, home of, I don't know, seagulls and fish tacos, I guess. I don't know what else is fish PB known for.
Frat bros getting pissed drunk and getting into the fucking paddy wagon.
Oh, for sure.
Night.
There is guaranteed Navy dudes 2 blocks to that direction getting fucked up and getting thrown out of bars in about an hour when curfew kicks in. So that'll be interesting. I bet I'll hear hella choppers here shortly. I mean, I'm saying PB. To be fair, I'm not that deep in PB. I'm like I'm on the shallow end before you get into like fucking. Like, you know, all
it's
the
nice
bars
because you
and all
don't
that.
get stuck in that shitty traffic, especially if like people that are driving from Claremont.
Oh, for sure.
You gotta go back through there.
Yeah, getting out in the morning is luckily not that bad. So, but yeah, man, PB's been dope. But yeah, I got it at the liquor store. Right, it's really close to me, so I'm not gonna say which one. It's like I could hit it from here. But yeah, it's tight though. Honestly, a lot of you can probably hear the water running because I'm in PB. You hear that?
Yeah.
So we got some technical difficulties to work through on the sound side of things, but I forgot what I was talking about. Michter's American. It's fucking great. You should get it. Oh, you can find it in most liquor stores, or at least a lot of the good ones that I know of seem to have it. I believe it's out. I want to say it's out of Texas, but I might be wrong. Product of how could I even assume it's not in Louisville, Kentucky? That was a silly mistake. So Michter's American is fucking delicious. And Chris, do you have anything else before we get into format?
No, let's get into format because I'll have a well-rounded later. I don't want to just shut it up.
Yeah, I got a couple too. Actually, I got a couple. So cool, man. So we will go ahead and start this off. And why don't you kick it off? I don't have much news, and the one piece of news I do have will come up here pretty shortly. So Do you want to start us off with the MMA podcast you recommend people catch this week?
So I know you and I briefly discussed before we started this. Should we mention a few things from last week?
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, I honestly I have notes from like the last 2 weeks because there was a ton of good content, and I've been catching up on goddamn everything. The Fight Site alone has put out so many fucking shows I had to get through that were all really
I was
good.
an idiot and kind of forgot. I've been good with them for the past couple weeks in a row, and I've just kind of
They've put out a crazy amount of content, and it's really good. So I have a lot of those to get to. I have a ton of shows. I think in the last probably weekend, like probably 10 days or so, I've probably listened to, I don't know, 150 shows, 100 shows, something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, I listen to a lot of shows that I don't even talk about on here because I just have it running all day while I'm working. So anyway, plus I was moving the whole time, so that was a goddamn hassle. But Chris, why don't you start us off with the MMA podcast you recommend people catch from the last 2 weeks?
So, and they come up frequently, of course. Co-main event podcast. This was this was the recap from, I think it was Teixeira versus Santos.
Yep, that would have been. I've got it here somewhere. I just have a fuck ton of notes. Episode 427.
No.
It was 428 was this week. Oh, wait. Hold on, wait. Let me check.
Was it CMA 247 or 427?
Probably 427. Hold on. Keep going. It was 427 because 428 was this week. Yep.
Okay. I'm just... Okay, I had it written down backwards. Yeah, so they talked about Tanner Boser and Arlovsky being closed. It was seemingly decided by 3 hard punches landed.
Yep.
They briefly discussed Kayla Harrison not returning to the PFL, and now she's in Invicta, I believe.
Fighting like while we're doing this. She might literally be fighting right this second.
And isn't she like at featherweight and not at lightweight?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's because the PFL is like terrified.
So she could try to get over to the UFC.
Well, and the PFL is terrified they're going to get sued, so...
Oh, yeah. They talked about a dude's ear nearly falling off. I remember that. That was kind of crazy. They question, has Dana lost his passion for the fight game? I mean, he's definitely not lost his passion for making money and lowballing fighters.
Yeah.
That's still consistent with Dana. They said, are we witnessing a transformation or a new version of Glover Teixeira? I guess more just like a renaissance or resurgence, right? Or whatever you want to call it. They love it. Fun matchups. They play matchmaker at 205. However, they said it's going to have to be Adesanya versus Blachowicz because that's the one that will sell pay-per-views. I mean, yeah. They said based on John Jones' current status of not being at 205, they really wish Vadim Nemkov was in the UFC. So do I. Yeah, that's what I have for them.
Yeah, it was a really solid episode overall. All 3 of the shows they did last week was pretty great. And they also this week, I believe, did for their movie club. They did Weekend at Bernie's this week.
No, I remember I saw that. I started listening to their live chat because I was on Patreon and I forgot I could have mentioned something. Next time I'll do that. I'll just say something ridiculous so that they say my name or mention me because I remember. This is from this week, I think, or earlier this week. They mentioned. I remember I was looking at and the guy's first comment on there was just "dick."
Yeah.
Now they have your attention or some shit.
Yeah, I believe Chad referred to it as, well, I think he was trying to call the person who was going to be first a dick, but no one was first, so we just have a disembodied dick. Which, that shows real solid.
Occasionally, too, I saw in there it said like third. Like, all right.
Yeah, the comments in that shows are real goofy, but a lot of fun. Let's see. So my catch for this week, one of many, is the Mookie and Crookie Show, episode 96.
And this was from last week?
This was from this week, I think.
Okay.
It was it's episode 96. It was the one with John Nash on it. Okay. Where John Nash basically did a Q&A of listener-submitted questions that Steffi kind of put the call out for on Twitter. It was really good. You guys actually heard a clip of it on the intro where John Nash says that one of the reasons why he really likes MMA is because it's kind of like the closest analog to the American working class for so many reasons. It's interesting. There's just a lot of good questions asked by a lot of people. A lot of talk about how whether the election and subsequent like board changes, like the NLRB and stuff like that, whether that's going to affect not only the antitrust lawsuit and stuff like that, but also stuff like unionization and Leslie Smith and all and those kinds of situations. So interesting hearing talk about all that, and it was interesting hearing fans just kind of bounce questions off of him, because a lot of times, because John does so much prep since he's like such a stats driven guy and a research driven guy, it's fun hearing him like kind of just off the cuff go into some of the topics and be like, this is 100% opinion at this point, but what I think might happen. So yeah, just really good overall. There's not anything like specific that is a reason to listen to it, other than, I mean, actually they did also go into a lot of boxing talk. Mookie and Steffi did. So if you're into boxing, there's a lot of good talk about some of the craziness that happened with the Vegas Commission and the replay and all the weirdness that happened with that. They also talk a little bit about some of the questions asked. Let me see. There was one or two good ones I wanted to shout out. Oh, they talk a bit about the Disney earnings calls, which is interesting, and how the UFC, it's kind of a really easy tell that if the UFC gets name dropped on those, that they had a big event. The other thing they talk about was that I didn't know this, but Endeavor gets a $25 million a year management fee from just off the profits every year, which is interesting.
Yeah, I saw some rumor that I think Disney didn't want ESPN to be with the UFC potentially at some point.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, Disney's shutting them out on earnings calls now. Like when when Connor's big event happened in whenever that was, January or whatever, that was one of the big things they mentioned on the earnings call was like, oh yeah, the UFC was extremely profitable in this quarter and all that. So essentially, the House of Mouse is going to try to get Dana to just pressure Connor into fighting more. Yeah, but I agree. I hope we see Mickey Mouse try to fuck Dana. That'd be fun.
I mean, if you've seen South Park, he's really good.
Hey, you know what? If the mouse is really stacked, he might fly it to Brazil. He just has to hope the mouse doesn't have a boyfriend that tries to extort him later.
And it's like buckle them seatbelts, right?
Yeah. I forgot. And who will pay the mouse with fucking company checks? Oh my god.
And that's totally not traceable. Yeah.
Dude's a genius. Anyway,
I was gonna say, real quick. I just wanted to mention, unless you want me to get into it later, it was just one more thing from last week.
Oh, you know what? That's a great segue because I was about to ask you for another catch. So, do you got something?
So the only other thing, it was a can't miss. I absolutely love this interview.
You know what? You want to hold it for the can't miss section then?
That works. Yeah, that works.
Okay. So, do you have another catch for this one?
From last week.
Or this week?
The Church of MMA from last week.
I think you've told me about this show before, right?
Yeah, I've listened to it before. This was a good one because they discussed Glover and where he's going forward. Basically, aka just wait after Izzy and Jan fight. They talk about Adesanya's pectoral muscle update, and which Adesanya told people he smokes too much weed. Sure.
Well, actually, no. That's a thing.
I mean, I don't want to brush it off, but
no, it's a thing. Like, multiple doctors have come out and explained that it's like actually a very pretty common thing.
I think it's because the way he said it in context, like it was in his interview, kind of seemed a little snarky.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was. Yeah, I think this was episode 45, by the way.
However, the only thing, and I don't think they're being sarcastic. They don't believe that John Jones popped for roids because of picograms. They seemed kind of serious.
I mean, I can see how you could talk yourself into that, though.
Yeah, but then they also acknowledged, though, they do believe there are top of the line ways to microdose steroids. Like, no shit. I mean, there's always updated ways to get by.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's how all drugs work, right? That's how drug tests are infinitely... Like, the whole problem with drug tests is that they can only catch things they know about, so everyone can always be a step ahead of them.
Yep. And what's funny
Shouts out
is
to the Wizinator.
Also, they keep mispronouncing Teixeira as Textera, and it's very distracting.
Oh, I fucks with that.
But the ironic thing
By
is...
the way, that sounds like a dope RPG.
Textera.
Yeah.
And then the ironic thing is they pronounce Blachowicz correctly, so...
Sure. I fuck that up still every week. Every time I go back and forth on...
Well, we just kept calling him BJ Blazkowicz because he was playing Wolfenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they spouted off a couple matchmaking ideas, but it was solid.
Nice. That's what's up. Oh shit, I just realized the glass I'm drinking out of... Actually, I don't know if you guys can see this. Probably not. It's actually etched with a San Diego map, so PD is like right there. You can't really see that, so that's a waste of everybody's time. But it's cool. Anyway.
Let's take your word for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We need to fix our fucking streaming setup so you can actually see me.
I know, it's like...
It's really dumb. Chris just
like,
stares
hey,
into a fucking void every week.
I'm just staring at myself, basically, which is why I'm never looking at the camera. But
it's fair.
you just go, hey, where's me? And you go, oh, well, here's Claremont somewhere.
Well, no, you can't even see the fucking... The problem is it's a glass etching that's pretty thin on a shitty fucking 720p camera. That's right, that's a 720p
Bro, shine a
camera.
light under it.
I'll shine a light on something, you know what I'm saying? All right, on that note, let's see. My other catch, or another one of my catches, I should say, Fighting with Myself, episode 81, and this is actually ties into the news thing that I mentioned earlier in the episode. Unfortunately, Fighting with Myself, hosted by Aaron Jackson, I think it's Aaron Jackson, Juice, he is currently going on hiatus. For a couple reasons, but part of it is kind of similar to the Esterlin shit, where it's just like at a certain point, everyone is fucking trash in this sport, and it's hard to be. I believe that it was something along the lines of it's hard being an MMA fan lately because of all the toxicity surrounding it, and just like fights constantly falling out and everything being short notice replacements. So yeah, he says he's going to take a break for a bit, but he will be back. He hopes at some point. It's going to be a different version of the show. Which
who's this again? Sorry.
This is Fighting with Myself, the podcast, and this is Aaron Jackson, Juice.
Okay.
And yeah, I've always really liked this show. He's an interesting dude, theater background, which is also why he's starting up a new podcast that he's been working on. That I think is a couple episodes in. I think it's 4 or 5 episodes in. And it's called Breaking... Oh, it's definitely not called Breaking Athens, which is what Google... Or which is what the GDoc autocorrected to. But I believe it's called Breaking the Fourth Wall. And yeah, I'm definitely going to give that a listen, because I always enjoy Juice's stuff. He's a super talented dude. He's done a lot of like singing and music parodies and stuff like that. And so
he's probably a massive fan of Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
I don't know, actually, but maybe.
Because those guys are very experienced in theater. Even before South Park, they were theater majors and film guys in college. And, of course, that's why they did so well with the Book of Mormon, as well as a couple other things. And also why, in the South Park movie, they got nominated for a bunch of Oscars for their music.
Yeah.
And even in the pandemic special, I don't know if you saw the South Park pandemic special this year. It's pretty fucking good. And Cartman has a little rendition about why he loves to be 6 feet away from everyone.
I might have to go watch that, actually.
Dude, it's on I don't know if you have HBO.
I think I do.
It's so fucking good. They just basically kind of wrap everything up that happened from March until like the end of October into one giant hour-long special. And
that sounds dope.
I'll just say it's exactly what you think it is and more.
All right, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Fighting with Myself, though. Yeah, just really good. And then the rest of the episode, he just basically does this kind of more of a normal episode. He recaps Silva versus Hall. He talks about how bantamweight is just violence weight, and all those shows are bangers. And he forget if it was, I think it was Luke Thomas that he credited with the quote, but he talks about how the UFC is essentially just serving up banquet food nowadays. Like, the UFC used to, like, have cultivated and, like, finely tuned menus that they were serving. But at a certain point, they're having put out so much content on such a regular basis that everything turns into fucking banquet food.
So we're going from a fine dining 5-course experience to now hometown buffet?
I mean, first off, shouts out to San Diego Favorite Hometown Buffet. I think they closed. I know Soup Plantation REP'd, and I have a feeling
was going to say Hometown Buffet in Claremont, Northern Claremont, on Claremont Drive, RIP.
Oh, is that not even there anymore?
Not anymore, yeah. They shut down this year.
If that one's dead, they're all dead.
Yeah.
That shit was so bad, dude.
Trevor told me he was so bummed. He's like, I don't miss working there when I was a kid, but...
that thing was a weird staple in Claremont. I think my grandma took me there like fucking 400 times.
Why I knew, because my grandma, whatever, before even when I lived with her, before I'd visit her, when I would visit her, we would go there.
Yeah, it was always bad. Even, how do you make bad hot dogs? Like, the hot dogs were notoriously the worst.
Oh, no, and if you're a piece of shit, what you do is you get there like at 11:30 and get last call, so you get the breakfast stuff, and then you still get the lunch stuff while only paying once if you're a piece of shit.
Right. Or really high. One of those.
Yeah.
To be fair, fuck buffet places. But yeah, I thought that was a really good analogy, and I believe you credited Luke Thomas with it originally, but it's a fucking perfect analogy. And then for the end, he does his listener forum where he takes audio and written questions, and just a really good episode, so... Sad to see Fighting With Myself end for the way it is right now. But I'm definitely excited to see what he has coming in the future. And if you guys are at all into like theater or any of that stuff, I highly recommend checking out his new podcast, Breaking the Fourth Wall. Because if it's anywhere near as good as his podcast was, I think it'll be a lot of fun. So
that's a great name too, especially for something with theater.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So highly recommend it. Fighting With Myself, episode 81. R.I.P. Let's see, Chris. Do you have any other honorable mentions for this one?
Just honorable mentions in general.
Oh, sorry. Catches.
Oh yeah. I'll be quick.
No, take your time because I still got a couple.
CME episode 248 was good. Lots of respect for Paul Felder, even though he didn't get the results he wanted. They like how RDA looked, especially after his return to 155. Because I remember at some point in his career, I think he says he wasn't sure if he'd be able to go to 155 again.
Yep.
But clearly he's on the right track. They said, all things considered, Aaron Pico has had himself a very nice 2020 in regards to his performances.
I still haven't gone back and watched that Bellator card from yesterday yet. Have you?
No, I saw the highlights.
It's supposed to be bangers, dude. Yeah, what's his face hitting 100% neck crank on Darren Caldwell? What the fuck?
I just saw that, and it's funny. You know, Jake, friend of the podcast, he's always texting me like Bellator shit.
Yeah.
I told him how I'm like, dude, I like a lot of the fighters, but whenever I tune in live, and I've told you this,
it's just a
always
shit
the
show.
bad part.
Yeah, it's always fucking heavyweights almost dying.
Kicked in the dick like 5 times, and it's like, dude, why? Or
to be fair,
because the last time I tuned in, like it was the Musasi fight. I was like, fuck,
that's a bad time to tune in.
I should watch, like, the only time I truly enjoyed it is when you and I saw it and there's those drunk people behind us in the theater.
Oh, yeah, when we went to watch the, what was it, Bellator 200 in the theater?
Yeah,
that
it was Michael
great.
Chandler, Brent Primus, and, like, Chael, and then Vanderlei. Yeah. That was hilarious.
We just got hammered in the theater.
Kept screaming Chael
over
and over again.
I love Chael so much.
Yeah, I'm like, Chael! You know.
So good.
So... And it's back to CME. They said Jason Herzog needs a nickname because he's been so great and consistent as a referee. They said, how about Slim Jason Herzog?
I like the listener suggestion the best.
What was it again?
Just Jason Herzog.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can be like, oh, it's just Jason Herzog. Or you can be like, no, it's just Jason Herzog. Like, he's a very just person.
That works.
I like it.
They said apparently the president of the PFL likened Fabricio Verdum to being the Tom Brady of MMA. That could not be more wrong. But
that's that dude. I think they're right when they say that dude wants a sports franchise so fucking bad.
Yeah. Shouts out to Gina Carano trying to fuck up her Disney opportunity.
Yo, hashtag are you fucking kidding me? Like they said, which hilarious seeing all the Variety articles coming out just shitting all over her.
And I want to say thank you to Ben and Chad. I've been wondering how do you say the Pitbull brothers' last name. I always would say Friday or Friday because I don't know how to say it. Friere. Yeah, duh. I was like, wow, that was so
it's like it's kind of Friere, but like that's also the
I'm
whitest.
just gonna say how they say it.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you want to sound like you're from Montana, you can say Friere.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Friday, like Patricio Friday and.
Oh, Friday. So I was right with Friday. All right,
yeah, it's like it's close. But like also I'm butchering it all. I'm
just being a smart
where's Fernanda when we need her?
Actually, you know, I'm just gonna look up a Brazilian pronouncing it. I'm not gonna do it in their accent because I'm not gonna insult their intelligence. But I'll just like go off of that. But then again, they always did have that running joke of calling her Amanda Nunes and other names and stuff. So.
Now you're making me double guess myself on that.
Or let's just go with Mark Textera.
Let's just go with good Pitbull and bad Pitbull.
Yeah, that works.
I feel like that works.
They said this weekend's pay-per-view might be one of the worst selling, but remember there's a fanatic out there who never misses a flyweight title fight. They said on that note, too bad Cody Garbrandt couldn't fight because it would really help Figueiredo get more recognition. I mean, I agree. But also, I think Figueiredo's going to get more recognition regardless because that dude is just a murderer.
Yeah, well, and he just bludgeoned the shit out of people.
And I think it's inevitable he gets a title shot at 135 at some point down the line.
I mean, he's a big boy.
If he wants to do that, though.
Yeah, he's huge for that division.
Yeah. So that's that. Do you want me to mention like one more catch and then I'll fuck off and let you do your thing?
Sure, in a second, because I still got a couple as well. Let me see. I'll say real quickly, shots fired for November 18th was really solid. Mike talks about something in this episode that I'm really curious about. I should get to first.
Well, I could help you with that because I listened to shots fired.
Oh, did you? Is that one of the ones you wanted to bring up later?
I was going to, yeah.
Okay, then we'll get to that one later then. Perfect. Is that? I'm guessing that's the one about the journalists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a feeling that was going to come up. That was almost a clip this week. It's real close.
Yeah, they brought up a lot of good points.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that one here in a minute then. I will instead then go with for my other catch. The MMA vivisection for UFC Vegas 14 and the MMA vivisection.
I always forget. Like, I feel bad. I need to like apologize to Dane Simon because like I would always listen to Heavy Hands and then my mind would go, okay, let's go to vivisection, and then it's like one or the other.
Vivisection's been great, and the best part is for UFC vivisection for the UFC Vegas 14 card. That episode that's the card that everyone was shitting on Zane Simon on Twitter for calling a trash card. Which, at the end of the day, ended up with only 9 fights on it because so many fights fell off. The best fight on the card, on paper, was RDA versus Felder, and that happened like 5 days out, which was way after Zane tweeted that. And, like, after all that, the card was trash, but on top of that, the episode they did breaking it down is fucking great. Like, despite him and Connor both hating the card, and everyone being like, oh, bro, you gonna complain about the cards? Like, he still broke the whole card down like he always does, and it was a great episode. So, I highly recommend it. A lot of hashtag all cards are valid talk. A lot of talk about, I believe, Conor Rebush did at one point compare that RDA versus Felder card to the 18th episode of the Cell Saga from Dragon Ball, where it's just like fucking nothing happening.
Is that the one where it's just like Cell is just waiting?
Yeah, it's just like clips of other dudes doing shit.
Like, what's up?
It's just clips of like other dudes doing stuff in the meantime.
Yeah, Cell's just like waiting. It's like, one more day, Goku, for them to begin. And it's like Goku just like relaxing with Gohan or some shit.
If I remember right.
Yeah, it's like nothing happens. Literally the whole episode.
Yeah, I thought that was great. They also compared Eric Anders versus Arroyo to like it's like having McDonald's cheeseburgers and red wine. That was pretty solid. Connor also did mention in this that he's done some scouting for CSA in the past. I know he's scouted for Josh Emmett and Andre Fili, but I thought it was some connection to Alpha Male. It turns out it's actually CSA, who's the kickboxing team that they work with part time on the side. So that's cool. And like, I've always tried to figure out kind of what the history on that was. So cool hearing him disclose that, because he's always disclosed like, hey, if I did tape study for somebody, but I don't know that he's ever actually said specifically it was for CSA. So that was interesting. And then the vivisection for UFC 255 was really solid also. I mean, of course, a vivisection with Valentina Shevchenko and her sister on it is already going to be good content from Conor. And then anytime Zayn and Conor get to tag team Mike Perry, that's probably a better way to phrase that now that I think about it. But anytime they get to just kind of run roughshod on jokes about Mike Perry, I am fucking here for it. I believe at one point Conor did mention that Mike Perry seemed like he was better trained when he was oil wrestling with Alec Nicholson's dad. that kind of stuff. So, just good old content. So, the MMA vivisection, Bloody Elbow's MMA vivisection for the last 2 weeks has been fucking great, and I highly recommend it.
Nice, and I'm gonna have to continue to. I have to return to that podcast because it's been too long.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for sure. I missed the MMA Depresta so bad. It's been so long since they've gotten to do one of those because they only do it on shows without UFC cards. And by the way, did you know, by the end of the current UFC run as it's booked, it will have been 28 straight weeks of cards.
I didn't even realize that.
It's fucking insane. Oh my god! It's because they took that like 2 month or 10, like what was it, 6 weeks off or something like that, in the middle of the pandemic. So they're like trying to make up all that time. Yeah. But yeah, luckily we have not done 28 straight weeks of breaking down some of these shit cards. Let's see. Did you have any other catches for this week?
Yeah, I will quickly mention this one. I don't. I don't have too many notes because this is a betting show. It was Severe MMA's 255 betting show.
Oh, nice.
I'll bring it up when we preview this card in a little bit. I'll just mention Heavy Hands. Title episode is Flyweight Fodder. Like you said, Conor already mentioned.
Oh, that's this week's one, right? So No, wait, I got it here somewhere. Go ahead.
Like Conor mentioned on Vivisection, it's not just a Valentina card, but an Antonina card.
That's right.
We hope they both do the dance afterwards.
Oh,
they say, but maybe not.
Episode 343. I did see someone put out a tweet. It must have been. I know it was one of the Fight Side guys. I want to say it was Kyle or someone, but someone did put out the clip of them dancing and be like, someone needs to put the fucking Thai boxing song over this shit so bad.
I just always remember it was someone on Reddit had the ultimate shit post. It's like the first time I did ecstasy and it showed Valentina dancing. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that checks out.
They did a breakdown of Perez and Figueiredo. They discussed UCA Formiga getting cut. They said, which is dumb considering there are still many trash cans left in the UFC. And they mentioned Sam Alvey. I'm like, no, I like Sam Alvey.
Yeah.
But you're not really wrong.
I mean, when was the last time Sam Alvey won a fight?
And then they mentioned Shogun, Hua versus Paul Craig too, and then they just said, "Oh boy," after sighing.
Yep, that checks out.
Yeah, that's what I had for that. I know that I could have had a lot more notes, but it was just kind of more fun.
It was a solid ep. I liked it a lot, and yeah, it was mostly just a lot of good breakdowns and stuff. Let's see.
Oh wait, and real quick, speaking of flyweights. I don't know if it was the UFC that posted it, but they had, of course, the king of cringe himself, Henry Cejudo, previewing the card and talking about how he made the flyweight division great, or like past champions. And of course, there's 0 highlights of Mighty Mouse, but I'm assuming that's because he's with one.
Right.
So,
you mean
like,
that Asian promotion? Because they'll never actually mention it by name?
Yeah, all the comments were like, where the fuck is Mighty Mouse?
For real? Oh, you mean the dude who is the division?
Yeah.
Sounds like there's all kinds of noises happening over there. I wonder what is happening. I don't think it's here. I think it's next door or something. PB on a Friday, y'all. We're gonna get some weird fucking noises up in my house.
You would have thought if we were recording about 2 days ago, my neighbors, the ones with like all the maybe early, like the teenagers and early 20-year-olds, as well as like fucking 4 middle-aged people. It's like a sitcom over there. This kid was having a meltdown, like screaming. Like I was like, okay. But it was just like really, I almost like want to go outside. Like, dude, can you just pipe down just a little bit? But
I figured out it's my neighbor's kids.
Oh, is someone making noise right now?
Barely in the background. I've just been trying to figure it out. But yeah,
are they angry? Did they die in Fortnite or something?
I mean, don't they all? You know, don't we all?
Well, the thing is, that game will never die as long as they have all that money to just get more licensing and promotion. So good on them.
Yeah, man. Jesus. I wish I gave any. I don't think I've ever cared less about a popular game than Fortnite.
Oh, so likewise.
Don't like it. I hate the building
I just
shit.
don't care for it. Yeah.
If they took all the building stuff out, because the shooting sucks. It's a bad game. I don't know why people like it.
We've talked about this like 3 times.
I know.
It's not good. It's not
I can't
good.
do it. No. Play Apex if you want to play a better version.
All I'll say is, BRs. Some BRs can be fun. Don't get me wrong, and they still are fun. But like I said, I'm on that single player hype train, man. December 10th, Cyberpunk finally being released.
Dude,
hopefully.
yeah, Cyberpunk.
I saw new gameplay. It's like they just keep teasing me. That game just looks so fucking cool.
I stand in anything CD Projekt Red does since fucking Witcher 1.
Everything I've seen, it's like, well, this looks like Fallout. This also looks like The Outer Worlds, and this also looks like Blade Runner, and it also looks like Mad Max.
And it also has like mad Witcher like vibes on like the narrative aspects. So yeah, I think it's gonna be dope as shit. Anyway, we're not a podcast about video games yet,
Or booze.
Yeah, or booze. Well, yet. But let's see. Speaking of
our podcast,
but speaking of booze and barely on topics. I do have one other technically 2 other catches this week, and it is Protecting Neck Podcast, episode 229 and 230. Dan Tom is single-handedly bringing fun MMA content back to MMA. In a world where we all have to try and look at these trash cards every week, seeing dudes like Dan do top 5s of just like weird stuff that I never would have thought of is just the best. Like, for example, Chris, did you listen to either one of these?
I listened to his latest one.
So that's the breakdown one, though, right?
Yeah, for 255.
So
the preview.
Right. So 229, the episode is with Ben Cohn, and it is top 5 thick fighters. 2 C's.
That sounds funny.
And it is fucking great.
So is number 1 Tuivasa?
No, Tuivasa is not the kind of thick they're talking about. Let me put it this
thick
way.
As in, I see.
Yeah. Oh, let me put it this way. Ben's number 5 is Ron Waterman. So you know it's getting serious very early in the list. One of them referred to, I don't remember which one, Ron Waterman, a.k.a. the guy everyone's mom loved. And yeah, it's just a lick. Man, that's a funny accidental fucking turn of phrase there. It's just a list of just stacked dudes. A lot of course, you're gonna the obvious one the first one everyone's gonna think of is like the Yoels or the Tyrans, right? But yeah, it's just hilarious. It's just them talking about dudes' butts for like a good 2 hours. It's really funny. It's just really a lot of fun. Ben talks about having to stare at all kinds of dude dicks at Marcelo Garcia's. He's like, I just keep having to see fighter dick all the time there. It's just great. It's just great.
So they go, where do I sign up?
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a very goofy episode, but it's just a lot of fun. So I highly recommend it. You just want like some fun, lighthearted discussion about dudes' anatomies. That's the place for it. And to be honest, it's great. And then Protecting Neck episode 230, was the top 5 unluckiest fighters in MMA with Phil McKenzie, which it's just awesome. It's basically Phil and
there should be one off the top of my head. I'd feel like Will Brooks has got to be up there at least.
Dude, I don't even know if they brought up Will Brooks. That's a great one though. I mean, like one that I think is, I don't think it was on their list. Well, actually,
I guess you could say Ben Askren.
But like a lot of them are guys like Harold Howard or Eugene Agata, or like really old school names. Guys that are like Tony obviously is one that's obvious. Ian McCall is another obvious one.
Oh fuck.
So
you can almost put Dom Cruz on there.
Yeah, Dom Cruz could be in that discussion for sure with all the injuries. I mean, anybody goes through crazy injury stuff. So yeah, it was just a really cool discussion hearing them talk about some old school guys that they like really liked, but that just constantly ran into troubles. And then also a lot of talk about all the terrible matchmaking back then, like back in the old school days where it was just there was an era there for a while where it was just like, oh well, you're a wrestler, so you get to fight wrestlers because we're so scared of wrestlers ruining the sport by putting them against strikers. So fucking you just end up mashing like two decent talents together for no reason, just because they're like, well, we don't want the wrestler to fuck over Conor McGregor. Although this would have been far before Conor McGregor's era. This is more like the who are the guys they used. I mean, I don't know. I feel like most of CB Dalloway's career was a lot of him fighting wrestlers, that kind of stuff, you know. So yeah, it's just a really good episode. And highly recommend it. I mean, I'm always a big Phil McKenzie fan, so anytime you get Phil and Dan talking old school MMA, I'm here for it. So definitely a good one. Let's see. Do you have any other catches for this week?
Nope.
All right. Do you have a skit
that
you listen to?
No, not. Remember, I always have a skip.
I know. We both always have. I mean, just if we don't have a skip, just assume it probably came out of a big dumb idiot who may or may not have fought at heavyweight at one point, and who says fucking stupid shit all the time.
Homo. Just kidding.
Yeah. Jesus.
Never met him.
Or if Kevin Iole ever opens his fucking mouth on a microphone, you can call that a skip. Jesus, that mouth burn. You see him just sucking Dana's dick in an article this week?
No, but that's his job, though.
No, he literally was like, Dana White single-handedly brought back sports in America.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus, bro. It's gotta be hard to see with his dick that far down your throat. Anyway. So, yeah. It's fucking embarrassing, dude. He's supposed to be a journalist. Like he's a at least he used to be at one point, from what I understand. At least some people refer to him. That's what happens
to a lot of journalists. Like they start off like legitimately being good at their job, and then they just
turn into PR.
That's what money does.
Well, right, and then they end up.
Speaking of skip, there's a certain former journalist.
I was gonna say I could probably think of another former journalist who used to actually do journalism, and nowadays just kind of talks into a microphone on camera and has a bunch of pro wrestling.
He's too close to his camera.
Yeah, and he also has a bunch. Well, I was going to say the one who has a bunch of pro wrestling references all the goddamn time.
Oh no, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh really? Is he
How
too
would
close?
You like if I was just like this the whole time, guys? Does this make you comfortable?
Well, to be fair, there's less of a 3D aspect with the front of your face than his. So.
Oh no! See, hold on. I just realized his lighting is bad, so I'm supposed to go like this and then go up to the camera. So then
we're definitely not talking about the same person. Did the person you're talking about ever take a fucking check from Fox?
Yeah, that's the same person.
Really? How is his lighting bad? I haven't watched. No, I haven't watched his fucking.
Like, and his face is like this close.
I haven't watched video of any of that shit in so long.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's because I always see it on my YouTube feed. It's like, never mind. I was about to say the name of the channel. Okay.
Anyway. Oh boy. Well, that's a good segue into what I have a feeling might be your can't miss for this week.
So I have one from last week and one from this week. And
yeah. You want to go with the one that I definitely just segued to?
Shots fired.
That would be the one.
Yeah, I think this is called "Don't Be Like Mike." I think was the name of the episode.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Something like that. I know G was talking about she's been banned 4 times from Twitter and twice from Bloody Elbow forums. But she said all she ever wanted to do was just interact with fans who love MMA.
Well, she also said she deserved to be banned from all of that stuff because G says wild shit.
And I forgot the name of the other host. I know the English
Mike.
guy.
Well, wait, it's Mike, Kairos, and G this week because Chisongo is out. Mike's the other English host. Kairos is the dude who's loud.
Yeah, so it's definitely Mike, and I just remember he's like, well, G, you're banned from us now too.
Oh yeah. Just no sells it too. He's like, well, sorry, G.
I enjoyed their discussion of Bloody Elbow journalists such as Trent Reinsmith, Zane Simon, and G, especially shouting out Kareem Zidane and the great investigative journalism he does for the world of mixed martial arts, which, I mean, he's pretty much the only one. I mean, I know he's not, but
him and Trent Reinsmith are like the only credible investigative journalists, really, or at least consistent. That that's their gig.
I remember they consistently talked about just go to Trent Reinsmith and anything he tweets and just look how people shit on him for no reason.
His mentions are so brutal, man.
Like I saw it today. Where the fuck is it at? Oh, this is the thing I was telling you about where he goes. He tweeted.
While Chris looks that up, I'm gonna smoke some Sunday Driver from Urban Leaf. There's here, I got stats on this while he's doing that. It is a 22% THC indica with 0.07% CBD and a total THC total amount of 23.23.
That's a big fucking amount.
It's a cross of Fruity Pebbles and Grape Pie, and it was bred by Colorado Genetics. Shout out to Colorado, getting us some good weed out here.
So it was a tweet
that worked out well.
Earlier today. Trent Reinsmith at 12:47. Most damaged brand in UFC? Question mark. Jorge Masvidal, Kobe Covington, Mike Perry, Dana White, Conor McGregor. Of course, someone said Bloody Elbow reporters.
Yeah.
And he said, you know why this is a stupid comment? And they're like, because the question was in the UFC, reporters are not UFC. There's just all these people just going off. And then someone mentioned Greg Hardy. And then he was just talking about, well, his brand was already damaged before he joined the UFC, so that's on Dana White. Thank you, Trent.
Yeah, Trent and G, don't play any game. Kareem, too, don't play any games on Twitter. They just dunk on fools. It's the best.
The two answers, though, are most common answers are Mike Perry, for sure, and Masvidal. And a lot of comments are, Masvidal went full retard. Okay?
Yeah, well, that's... I get what you're trying to say. Probably not the way to go about that. Yeah. God, such fucking mouth.
And of course, someone said yourself.
Great. That's great. Yeah. No, that checks out. So yeah, no, that episode.
Someone said you gave Colby too much credit with this tweet. Touche.
Fair. Yeah, but that episode was solid.
Yeah.
But that's not why it was a can't miss. I'm guessing.
No, and to be fair, speaking of journalists from Bloody Elbow, I think it was Mike who kind of went into it. He was talking about, and real quickly, they were talking about Bloody Elbow reporting on COVID stipulations within the UFC. And what I thought was interesting is they said 65% of the UFC fighters that are involved are people of color, but it's interesting how more voices are far right alongside the fans who are more right leaning. I believe. I don't know where they pulled that data from. I'm sure they got it from some sort of sample group.
And also just Twitter.
Yeah.
Just how loud they are in comments.
I feel there's a lot of credence in that.
Yeah. No, just the comment sections on any goddamn post about anything other than white dudes is generally not great.
But yeah, like you're saying, the reason why it was a can't miss was they had a great discussion on MMA-JA, which is just... or MMA-AJA.
The Mixed Martial Arts Journalists Association.
Membership, and And since Mike's professional, since all of them are professionals, they are not gonna, they're not gonna say names, obviously.
Yeah, they're not me. They don't go scorched earth.
That would be slanderous potentially.
I mean,
It depends.
nah.
They just don't want to tread that line.
Yeah. Well, and also it's like it doesn't do any good to put the names out because. Anyway, we should clarify specifically what he said.
They're discussing current MMA journalists that bump fists with fighters and don't practice complete bias and journalistic integrity.
Right, which shouts out to G
object.
for literally taking a shitload of pictures with. I hate when people do that. You can't, bro. If you have media credentials, you can't take pictures with fighters. You can't. That's how media credentials work. You can absolutely go to any other. You can approach a fighter at any other setting and do that. Any other setting, unless you are credentialed. Unless you're no. Even if you're credentialed as media, you cannot take pictures with fighters. If you're not credentialed as media, you can do whatever the fuck you want, bro. But you can't. Yeah, but you can't walk around with a media badge and do that shit. That's not how media works. Because literally, what that means is you're taking voices away from people who are going to ask actual journalistic questions and be objective and shit. Which, like, it drives me nuts that and people I like, I've seen do that, and I'm like, oh, don't fucking take pictures with fighters, and definitely don't do a fist pose next to them, and definitely don't wear promotions fucking gear that they give you. Because I've seen well-known, well-respected journalists in this sport wear fucking one championship sweatshirts and their kids in one championship sweatshirts. And you're like, the fuck are you doing, bro? That is not... And you're like, oh, randomly, your tiny outlet got to fly to Asia to cover one cards, huh? Anyway. That's not who we're talking about, though. Anyway, so in this episode, though, Mike specifically mentions that a lot of... So because a lot of the people who didn't get into the MMA was specifically because they had pictures with fighters or this kind of stuff, which is like, I mean, it's literally just, if you've ever taken a journalism class, they told you not to do shit like this, right?
Hey, we haven't talked. I've never said anything bad about anyone on this podcast. Maybe I should apply. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, to be fair, fucking, there's a difference between that and then, but like also being credentialed media, and that's the real problem, is you can't be credentialed and doing any of that shit. You can do it when you're not credentialed, you know?
Yeah, because once you're credentialed, and you have to wear your press pass, and it's not like, what are you gonna do? Tuck it under your fucking like dress shirt and be like, all right, guys, I'm a fan now. It's not,
right? And like
only that easy.
Yeah, and it's different if you see people in different settings and stuff, and really a lot of that's just about disclosing your biases. But yeah, if anyone who's ever taken a goddamn journalism class, Chris, I think you'll back me up on this. What's the first fucking thing they talk about? It's ethics, right?
Yeah, you literally
Every
go
class.
over the ethics. There's a website.
Yeah, it's fucking. There's AP ethics guidelines for a reason. Like, it's pretty wild. There's a bunch of different options, and every single class anyone's ever taken on reporting, you have to sit through the shit where they're like, hey, don't do dumb shit like take pictures with the subject where you're both smiling and putting your fucking fist in the air. Okay, maybe they don't go that specific, but anyway, I've spiraled on this. So specifically, though, the MMAJA were refusing to let people in if they had that kind of stuff on their social media. And Mike had it pointed out to him by another person that was a part of that, that a lot of those people not only previously used to have those kinds of pictures on their social media, but got rid of them.
Yeah,
but well, and I mean, fucking, I'm pretty sure he's the president. If the president is who I think the president is, I'm pretty sure the president used to do that shit a lot back in the day. And anyway, that's not. The president also took a check from the fucking promotion, so what are we even talking about? But the main thing that he brought up in this that was interesting is Mike says that there was a dinner that a bunch of media members, a lot of which were from the MMAJA, sat down at a dinner with Scott Coker and did not pick up the check. And that shit is bad. That is like journalism 101, right?
Yeah.
So that's a problem. And I appreciate Mike whistleblowing it. because that's a fucking issue. And I think that's also why you're starting to see a lot of people in the MMAJA not ever talk about the MMAJA unless they're mentioning how they don't want to do anything for the MMAJA. Because a lot of people who even are on the board are trying to get the fuck off the board. So, yeah, it's really, really interesting and kind of terrifying that shit like that is out there. So, yeah, man, I don't know. It's disheartening. And I know a lot of those dudes, to be fair, do have long running relationships with Scott Coker. Because a lot of them covered stuff way back in the day when it was before he was even with Strikeforce. I mean, some of those guys I know for a fact were covering him when he was like still doing K1 promotion stuff. So I don't know. It's a weird thing,
dude. Their like website isn't even like
existing. It doesn't really do anything.
It's like they got rid of it.
Oh wait, really?
I can't access the MMA Journalist Association's website right now.
You can. It's that if you go to advanced and then you proceed. Oh wow! Whoa!
Well, I just tried.
You're right. Someone should email webmaster at MMAJA.com because that shit is down and not up.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, I'm gonna just take that screenshot real quick and I'm gonna tweet that out here.
That's why I
in a
figured
minute.
I would check it out.
Oh boy, that's an interesting coincidence, huh? Well, then again, when was the last time anyone went to the Mixed Martial Arts Journalists Association website? Probably this is probably the last time anyone's been there since the last time I was there. So I don't know. Really interesting though that Mike got into all that, and yeah, man, it's a weird situation with how tangled web we weave and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. So we will segue, actually, that segues not too terribly, into my can't miss for this week, which is Writing and Fighting, Nancy Kidder of I think it's American University, right? Every time I have a panic attack when I try and remember what university. Yeah, it's American University. She has a class where she does essentially panels and has people sit in and they have discussions about writing in mixed martial arts. And this is Writing and Fighting, Geopolitics and Combat Sports, where Kareem Zidane guested as like a guest speaker. And then Tanisha, Atticus Crow, Josh Rosenblatt, and Kyle Green sat in. And it's just really interesting. It's a lot of talk about politics always being a part of sports. And Kareem gets into a little bit of his history about how he got into sports in general just by going to these wild soccer matches in Cairo in Egypt when he was living there growing up, and just seeing police there essentially just pull people out of the crowd they didn't like and take them around the corner and beat the fuck out of them.
Jesus.
And so he always kind of had that. He kind of grew up around sports and police and authority always clashing. And so it was really interesting to hear him kind of get into in depth on his history with that. Also, I didn't know that Kareem originally got involved in MMA because of Vadim Finkelstein hired him as a K1 or as an M1 commentator back in the day. I had no idea, which is cool as hell.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Which means I probably heard Kareem on some of those old M1 broadcasts that I just didn't realize was Kareem, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I had no idea. But one of the more interesting things he talks a lot about in this is having to kind of always never geolocate himself. Like, he has been told by a lot of people, and more so during certain reporting and stuff. But he's been told, he was nominated a couple times for Journalist of the Year, and he was told by a couple people, hey, don't go to that because there's a good chance people might show up trying to look for you. Which, by the way, means he should have won Journalist of the Year. That's what that means.
100%.
If you can't go to the award show because your journalism is too good, you won Journalist of the Year. So, I don't know. The fucking dude taking checks from a promotion can sit the fuck down and pass it over, as far as I'm concerned.
By the way, I know you mentioned news. don't think you mentioned this yet. New matchup just got booked. It's a banger for UFC 256, December 12th in Vegas. I think it's the main event. I'd actually wait.
Oh, so you're not talking about the banger that is KGB Lee versus Jillian Robertson? Because that's a banger.
That's a good one.
Or how about fucking Cheeto Vera versus
So it is that card, right?
I think it
Wait,
might be.
hold on.
Hey, Sean Sheehan and Phil just dropped in chat. Free.
So anyways,
Sean Sheehan, by the way,
breaking.
Sean Sheehan. This is how you know Sean Sheehan is the realest of MMA media. He says free food is the only perk of MMA media. Checks out.
So anyways, what I was going to say is I think it's the main event now, or it's going to be Tony Ferguson will be fighting Charles Do Bronx Oliveira at UFC 256.
Dude, that is a lot of fun.
Oh, okay, this will be the co-main then, because the main event is still Jan and Sterling.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Right,
this card
right.
just got 10 times better.
Dude, I love me some Chucky Olives, especially recently. That dude's been on fire.
Ooh, this also has Marvin Vittori and Jacare. This has JDS and Cyril Gane.
Those are some weird fights. Those are weird
Mackenzie
fights.
Dern, Angie Hill's on here.
Who's Angie Hill fighting?
Tisha Torres. Okay.
Wait, they haven't fought yet?
No.
Weird. Angie Hill's going to fuck up Tisha Torres because Tisha Torres can't clinch Angie Hill against the cage for long enough. Huh. That's going to be...
Yeah, Tony Ferguson.
That's a weird card, but kind of
Chucky
fun.
Olives, I'm all for that. So that means who's Michael Chandler fighting then in January? Because I think...
Is he
speaking of
fighting
that,
in
I guess
January?
should-
I thought he was taking time off from
So
everything
I guess,
he keeps
should I
saying.
go into my can't miss from last week? It has everything to do with Michael Chandler.
Well, here, let me. Hold on 1 second. Let me crank through a couple more points on this, and then we'll get to that. Because I think I touched on most of it. The only other thing was Kareem talks a lot about Kadyrov and all just the violations and how the UFC still signed a fighter who was literally Kadyrov's nanny for his kids, and also that same fighter threatened the reporter for the HBO Real Sports doc, and Kareem personally reached out to the UFC to let them know, and the UFC's like, the fuck? And then the only other things was Kareem did also mention that he has seen a lot of authoritarian regimes, and at a certain point, when living in America right now, if you don't see the last year's series of events with our political system as part of a chance at authoritarian regimes, then you're just not paying attention, or you're waiting for a literal violent coup. And so it's weird. It's interesting hearing someone like him who has like a lot more, I would say, especially compared to fucking dude like me who's terrible at geography and awful at history. He has a much more worldly view of all this shit, and to hear him be like, "Yeah, we've all seen this before," is a little terrifying. And then lastly, the clip you guys will hear on the upcoming break. Kareem also says, "Well, you know what? You'll hear it on the break," but he makes a good point for why it's important to stand up for the people who bleed for your entertainment. I'll leave it at that, but. Oh, they did fight before, Shawnee. You're right. Torres and Hill did fight before. And was it on Tough? Or was it just after Tough? Was it right before the Rose fight? It was right around then, right? Oh, no, I'm going to have to look this up. But yeah, anyway, Chris, you want to get into your can't miss while I pull this up?
Yeah, so this is from last week. I really enjoyed this. This was it was this past weekend. Theo Vaughn's podcast. He had a Michael Chandler.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
I think my
really
YouTube
good.
algorithm has completely nuked all Joe Rogan guests because I don't see him anymore.
It made me even more of a fan of Michael Chandler. I think he's kind of hated on a little prematurely, at least by UFC fans that never knew him, or just MMA casuals.
Well, and also shouts out to Toyota Vescandita though, for real.
Yeah.
They've been sponsoring that dude since for like a decade.
Yeah, because Michael's based in Nashville now.
Yeah, but he was out here, and I think Toyota of Escondido's right by Stone, right?
Mike back in the day was at Alliance with Cruz and everyone there
Yeah.
for like the longest time, at least in the beginning of his career.
Well, and that Toyota delership is like right down the hill from Stone, isn't it? Isn't it like right all those ones when you get off the freeway right there?
Yeah, I believe so.
So that's tight.
Anyways, I'll cut. I had some notes on this, but I'll kind of breeze into it. They talk about Khabib and his performance against Gaethje and just his career. Theo thinks Khabib is a rare reptile scientists haven't discovered yet. Mike has a great point about fighter fatigue during a fight and how pacing your cardio kind of also has to do with really the combination of balancing fear and accepting it during a fight. He says he talks about this because it came about in his fight. I think he said it was the first time he fought Benson Henderson. He had passed out, like full on, basically just was knocked out before the 5th round.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And his coach is, I think it was Henry Hooft. I think he's still with Henry Hooft, I think.
I think he's with whatever the fuck they call that thing now, because it's not Hard Knocks anymore. It's like Sanford MMA or something.
Yeah. Wilco was like, hey man, wake the fuck up. He got another round to go, and then he's like, oh Jesus. He talks about the impact GSP had on the sport of mixed martial arts and how walking away in his prime was just the best thing he could have done for himself. He doesn't think Anderson Silva should have done the same, saying that Silva decided he didn't want to fight anymore. He also details the time he met Dustin Poirier on Fight Island, and the amount of respect he has for him, and likewise. Theo talked about a neighborhood story when he was a kid. He used to be Don King and trick rich kids into bicycling into his neighborhood, and then all the other poorer kids would go on their shitty bikes and jump them.
That sounds like a Theo Vaughn story if I ever heard one.
Yeah. Mike says,
"Dude, we used to go up the road from." One time we pulled over and shot up steroids with this guy in his truck.
Yeah, basically he'd be like, yeah, man. He's like, these kids would go on their bikes. And we go, hey, man, we're going to go rent a movie. And then also little Tommy Hoover's like, not today, motherfucker. And like, let's go. Mike says his mentality fighting is he fights for contests, not conflict. I kind of like that. They talk about likable fighters who aren't afraid or who exemplify why losing is part of just the game and using that motivation to go on a run. And they kind of cite Anthony Smith and how he had his success leading up to his title shot against John Jones.
Right.
Theo asks Michael, he's like, hey, man, you're obviously always in good shape. What's your cheat day like? And he's just like, he just loves pizza.
Checks out, dude.
And has beer. And he had said before he was an alternate or to Khabib and Gaethje, he was literally at the airport about to like dive into some pizza and beer, and then like someone showed him like, hey, man, you're an alternate, so time to cut some weight. And he's like, fuck.
That sucks.
Yeah. And then he talks about Patricio Pitbull and why he's so angry all the time.
Dude, him and fucking Chandler are so cute together. They hate each other so much.
Mike says, he says, I truly think I'm in a better position now because I'm in the UFC. And I mean, this is him, being confident. So he says, I'll be UFC champ by next July. Well, this dude is still going to be angry at this contract at Bellator. Yeah, and then he just talks about like his diet, his regimen, training, all that. He has like a rigorous 12-week program, the whole thing. But yeah, and then he says his two fights he wants next are either Tony Ferguson or Justin Gaethje. I think, considering that Ferguson is now fighting Charles Oliveira, I think we will be seeing Chandler fight Gaethje within the next couple months.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it, man. Also, it's less. It makes sense for the UFC to book it that way because they hate. God, this room is so echoey. I can hear it and it's bothering me. They hate. They're gonna hate if Chandler comes in and just barnstorms somebody with a name straight from Bellator. But if they have him fight Gaethje, who technically is from WSOF first, and then it's like a weird. It seems like the kind of petty matchmaking shit the UFC would do.
Yeah, it's basically like, well, he's not one of our guys. He's not one of our farm grown prospects.
Right, our farm grown prospects who we bought from Scott Coker. Yeah, our farm grown prospects who we bought from Scott Coker or whatever it was a decade ago.
Yeah, definitely not Strikeforce. A lot of those.
Or WEC or
WEC.
Pride or anything else we bought to just try and pretend like we were the only ones around. Yeah, man. Yeah, it sounds like a good app. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. I like Theo. I mean, you know, as much as I like any of those LA comedians right now, he is towards the top of that list, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. Shawnee Podcast nominating himself as a miss or as a skip for this week, since he said he was sick and they were shite for the week he was off. Which actually, Shawnee Podcast, we'll get to one of yours in a minute. They were not shite. One of them was actually actually a couple of them were great, but there was just so much shit. So I do have them here to get to in a minute. Because, you know what, I'll do it right now. Severe May episode 288, as well as Shawnee Podcast Q&A with Graham on November 9th, were really good. Especially the November 9th Q&A with Graham was actually a lot of funny, just because it's always weird hearing Graham outside of like the regular format. But especially when Shawnee's just like essentially feeding him stuff so he doesn't have to kill his voice it was a fun one. I thought it was cool. Also, I didn't mind the Andy Stevenson and Graham side by side either. 287. I thought that was cool. So Shawnee, don't be so down on yourself, buddy. Although no, I don't know. Although I was just fucking with you. Actually, Chris mentioned you liked the thing from this week, right?
Which thing?
The betting show, right?
Yeah, that was solid. I know I was going to mention it like in our preview part because a lot of it was just Sean and kind of how he broke down how he thinks the fights are going to go and why you should bet the certain line or just odds.
Yep.
The odds makers. Let's just say Valentina's a 9-1 favorite, which is like, I mean, that's kind of probably going to be continuing to be all of her matchups at 125, I would presume.
Yeah, for sure.
Until she fights again at 135.
I mean, yeah, until she loses to Amanda Nunes again.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, what are you talking about, bro? That's 1-1.
Shawnee Podcast coming out here. Okay, I was like, Shawnee Podcast coming out here in chat saying betting show is guaranteed money, and then he added at the end, probably not. To be fair, if you bet on our picks, you'll be right almost half the time.
You'll be right 60% of the time.
Yeah, we got a solid 60% average. Problem is, the 60% we do get right aren't going to make any money. Then again, I don't know. Maybe every once in a while I'll say Jessica I has almost a chance. And then she gets fucking gunshotted in the head by Valentina. Let's see. I do have a couple new shows. Do you have any this week?
I do not.
I'm going to go through them quick. But the Unanimous Decision podcast had the FightSite.com or the Fight-Site.com's Kyle McLaughlin on. This was released all the way back in October 30th. I've literally had it in my queue since then. I just haven't had time to get to it. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, I think I've talked about this a lot on the show. I'm a big fan of Kyle McLaughlin. I think he's hilarious. Not the actor. And we full disclosure, which I think we've also talked about a lot. We go back and forth a bunch with Kyle online because he's a good dude and super funny. But it's a really fun episode. They talk a lot about whether Kyle scored the first round for Gaethje over Khabib, since this was just after that fight. And they talk a lot about how the low stance of Gaethje hurt his lateral movement quite a bit, which I think was I think Aiden was the one who wrote the article over the Fight Site about that Kyle referenced. They talk a lot about Kyle's level Whitaker and how he had to literally fast forward through the result, or through in the third when he got clipped by Cannonier. He had to fast forward to the result just because he could not sit through the next 2 minutes or whatever. I was the same way. I was watching and I was like, oh Jesus. Also, if I remember, oh no, you know what? It wasn't that fight. It was the. Although on that same card, if I remember right, that was the one where the Fight Site guys, I believe it was Danny and Saram, they did a live stream, but then right as Khabib was catching the triangle on Gaethje, as soon as he took him down and caught the triangle, it was exactly when their feed ended. So by the time the stream came back up, it was just Khabib crying on the ground. It's real good. Let's see. They also talk a lot about GOAT discussions, like Habib versus John and all that. So I really liked it quite a bit. I definitely recommend it. I'm definitely going to have to check out some more of the Unanimous Decision podcast. Because honestly, anything Kyle's on, I'm going to enjoy. So I'd like to see like what that show's normal format is. Because Kyle is one of those dudes who, they're my favorites. Connor Rebush is this way. Guys who, Jordan Breen is notoriously this way. Guys who go on shows and just completely break the format of the show just because they're either too wild or too all over the place, or they have like too many bits they're doing to where it just the whole format devolves and it sounds like a totally different show. Those are always a ton of fun. And speaking of wild, actually, it's the Fight Site Central section of this show, because the other new podcast I listened to this week was the very cleverly named the Fight Site Patreon podcast, episode 1, which they put out, or as I believe Kyle called it, aka Kyle and the Catboy, since it is Kyle and Ryan talking about MMA history, technique, all that kind of stuff. And of course, it's okay. So wild things happening in chat right now. Sean Sheehan's yelling, "Here we go, evil! Here we go!" So you know things are going well in chat. Oh wow, Chris, you're the only person who've ever woofed after that, except for Jessica I.
Oh no, I do that every time.
Oh, you're the one. You're the guy. Hey man.
Yeah.
Hey man. Jessica I needs simps too. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let's keep on moving on. So the Fight Site Patreon podcast episode is all about BJ Penn. It's kind of a big BJ Penn career and legacy retrospective. And it's really good. We talk a lot about early on in his career having like a decade less experience than guys like Jens Pulver, who he was fighting. And just all the wild matchups that he had, like the open weight fight with Machida. Yep. And being the only person to sub Ken Flo back in the day. Discussion, a lot of talk also about where BJ just belongs in GOAT discussions. So, like, in comparison with modern lightweights, like, how would he do in his prime versus, like, you know, guys like Habib or other dominant lightweights at their time. And, it's really interesting.
That would be interesting. I'd probably lean Habib based on his dominance, but it would definitely be close with a prime BJ, honestly. Who knows, though? Wish you had some sort of simulation. Because that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like a prime Benson Henderson would be fun. But, I mean, well, I still think Habib wins, but...
Yeah. Or, like, man, you know what would be the sad... Man, you know what people would immediately do if there was that simulator, though? People would just make fights like fucking Anthony Pettis versus Habib, just make Anthony Pettis so sad. Like,
or
there's a lot of matchups where you're like, oh, God.
Fuck, no, they would do more dumb shit. They would do, like, so obvious. They would do Connor versus, like, who? Fucking, God damn it.
You're right. Every simulation would be Connor KOing like some 125-pounder.
Yeah, it'd be like Connor versus Volkanov. Not even Volkanov. It'd be like
no, it'd be like Connor versus like Olaf Alfonso or like fucking. It'd be like Connor versus Miguel Torres.
Connor versus Jens Pulver.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy was the lightweight champ. This fucking
exactly.
guy.
Connor versus Carlos Newton. Actually, that'd probably go bad for Connor, depending on what era of Carlos Newton. Anyway, let's see. Oh, the other thing they did mention is they're going to be doing a deep dive of hopefully Pitbull, Curran, and Strauss fights in the future. Like kind of all their back and forth, as well as they're going to take a look at some of Miguel Torres's past. So, and that's actually, again, full disclosure, this is something Kyle actually mentioned to me in a DM a while back. He mentioned he was thinking about doing something like this. I was like, dude, fuck yes, I love old retrospective shows like that. So I'm very happy to see them doing it, and I'm excited to hear more of it. Also, it looks like in chat, Laura Murphy and Casey O'Neill shout-outs that are happening. I don't know what's going on. Let's see.
You mean Barb?
Oh, yeah, Barb. To be fair, I just don't know what to make of Laura Murphy. I just don't know what to make of her. Let's see. Oh, and then wrapping up my... actually, no, wait. No. Oh, right. Honorable mentions. That's where we're at. Chris, you got any honorable mentions? Because I got a whole list that I'm just going to read the names of.
Yeah, no, I'm all I've got left is just off-topic shit at this point.
All right. So here, I have so many honorable mentions because this is from 2 weeks of shows, and this isn't even half of what I listen to. These are just all the good ones. So I'm going to rattle them all off. And if anyone listening has questions, tweet us and I can tell you more about it, or if you want more info or anything. Because there's too many to go through. Verbal Tap, episode 434 and 434. Okay, one of those is either 33 or 35, but I don't know which. The first of the two was Kevin getting back from the wedding and his honeymoon. It's a lot of fun. And then Anthony Burchak actually was on their recent episode. That was really good. Heavy Hands, we talked about. I think we talked about episode 343, but 342 was also really solid. Show Money, episode 37 was a lot of fun. They had a big post-election special. Talk about how a change in administration could mean for the antitrust case. And some of the DAZN Golden Boy Canelo drama. Let's see. Severe MMA we talked about. Shout out to Shawnee. Care Don't Carry for UFC Vegas 13 and UFC Vegas 14 reviews. Were both really good. Eugene and John are hilarious together. And especially when... I think they had one care on the entire UFC Vegas 14 card, and that fight didn't even happen. So it's pretty good. Let's see, the Fight Site MMA podcast bonus episode with David Castillo, where it's Danny Martin and David Castillo talking all about Fedor. That was a lot of fun. Really like that. What the Heck, episode 34. Mike Heck had interviews with DJ, Chaos Williams, Ben Askren, and Benson Henderson. Those were all really solid. Level Change, episode 97 was a lot of fun. I really like that. They talk about Felder stepping in on late notice. What does Anderson do next? And they preview Bellator 252 and Felder versus RDA. Inside the Hexagon interview with Gorgeous George Garcia was really solid. He talks about being at the Playboy event back in the day, Scott Coker's ability to find talent and kind of home grow it, and the early days of the Diaz brothers. And then the Fight Business podcast is the last one I have to bring up, Chris. Episode 19, because Patrick Auger interviewed the GOAT commentator, Chris. Do you know who I'm talking about? A ring announcer, I should say.
Totally unexpectable.
No. That's a commentator. The best ring announcer.
Was that the one guy... Fuck.
It's the ring announcer from Fight Circus, John Nutt himself. And not only did he have an awesome interview with John Nutt, but John Nutt's back this weekend, Chris, because Fight Circus 2 is happening on Saturday tomorrow, and I'm so fucking excited. I'm going to take hella edibles. I'm going to get real drunk.
It was Fight Circus, the Cam Soda thing you talked
Yeah,
about?
Fight Circus is the Cam Soda one, which, you know what? When we come back from the break, I'm just going to send you a picture of it and let you read it out loud into the camera. Okay. And I just want to get your reaction, because while there may be a UFC pay-per-view that is pretty good this weekend, there is also some crazy carny shit happening in Thailand that I am here for. So we will be back here in a minute to talk about that. In the meantime, you guys can listen to this clip of Kareem Zidane learning motherfuckers on what it means to be a fight fan. So listen to that, and we will be back.
Liked by the sound of violence.
All the fighters who are a part of the current antitrust lawsuit filed against the UFC, all these people put their careers on the line to do this, to speak for following generations. A lot of this isn't going to benefit them, it will benefit generations coming up. And yet they're getting attacked by UFC fans now. Truth is, how dare you call yourself an MMA fan or a UFC fan, really just in general an MMA fan, if you're not standing up for the people that are actually bleeding for your entertainment. It's insanity to me. That is ridiculous. That is hypocritical. You do not deserve the space at all. It's not.
Are you excited about it all?
Liked by the sound of violence.
To me, the UFC is America's sport, partly for this reason. Because America's sport, we call the NFL, but really no sport better exemplifies the American workforce than the UFC fighter, because the American workforce is a precariat class, constantly worried about keeping a job, constantly worried about their income, where very much that's the typical fighter in MMA.
Yep.
You're not a member of a union. Now it's like gig workers. You're an independent contractor called into work only when they need you. You don't have your company, your industry is dominated by a monopoly, very much similar to most industries in America now, where we've seen concentration with fewer and fewer airlines, fewer and fewer banks, fewer and fewer in everything. And so they have more control over their workers. And so I think no sport do the fighters, or I should say, do the athletes have more in common with the typical American worker than you see with MMA fighters.
liked by the sound of violence.
All the fighters who are a part of the current antitrust lawsuit filed against the UFC, all these people put their careers on the line to do this, to speak for following generations. A lot of this isn't going to benefit them, it will benefit generations coming up. And yet they're getting attacked by UFC fans now. Truth is, how dare you call yourself an MMA fan or a UFC fan, really just in general an MMA fan, if you're not standing up for the people that are actually bleeding for your entertainment. It's insanity to me. That is ridiculous. That is hypocritical. You do not deserve the space at all. It's not.
Different generation, are you excited about it all?
Liked by the sound of violence.
To me, the UFC is America's sport, partly for this reason. Because America's sport, we call the NFL, but really no sport better exemplifies the American workforce than the UFC fighter, because the American workforce is a precariat class, constantly worried about keeping a job, constantly worried about their income, where very much that's the typical fighter in MMA.
Yep.
You're not a member of a union. You're now it's like gig workers. You're an independent contractor called into work only when they need you. You don't have your company, your industry is dominated by a monopoly, very much similar to most industries in America now, where we've seen concentration with fewer and fewer airlines, fewer and fewer banks, fewer and fewer in everything, and so they have more control over their workers. And so, I think no sport do the fighters, or I should say, do the athletes have more in common with the typical American worker than you see with MMA fighters.
Liked by the sound of violence.
All the fighters who are a part of the current antitrust lawsuit filed against the UFC, all these people put their careers on the line to do this, to speak for following generations. A lot of this isn't going to benefit them, it will benefit generations coming up. And yet they're getting attacked by UFC fans now. Truth is, how dare you call yourself an MMA fan or a UFC fan, really just in general an MMA fan, if you're not standing up for the people that are actually bleeding for your entertainment. It's insanity to me. That is ridiculous. That is hypocritical. You do not deserve the space at all. It's not.
Different generation, are you excited about it all?
All right, everyone, we're back.
Yeah, we are.
We're back to preview UFC 255 Figueiredo versus Perez, which goes down at the time that we're recording tomorrow, Saturday, November 21st at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific main card start. Of course, unless you are a MMA fanatic, then you will be watching the entire card, which we're about to start and break down right here.
Yeah, in just a second, we're going to do two things first. Number one, Chris, did you see... You probably didn't, since I think it just happened while we were recording, but Alex Pereira, I should say, who you might know because he is the guy who knocked out Israel Adesanya in Glory way back in the day.
Yep.
He just got another very nasty left hook KO in LFA. And he's been training with Glover Teixeira, evidently.
Oh, cool.
It's a nasty... It's another one of those left hooks that dudes just walk into and he just completely melts them. Evidently, dude was on canvas for a while. To the point where the commentators kind of hushed. And
what the fuck? Fucking... I gotta turn off Siri on my phone. Okay.
But so that was wild. But the second thing I'm going to do right now, Chris, is I am sending you a picture on Skype. If I can figure out how the fuck to do this. Where was it? I think it's... Didn't I just... it's probably here then. There we go. Chris, I just sent you a picture on Skype. I'm going to need you to read off from the bottom to the top the types of... You don't have to worry about the names, because who gives a fuck? Nobody knows any of these people. I just want you to click on that picture and read from the bottom to the top the types of events that are happening at Fight Circus tomorrow. Because, oh boy.
I gotta zoom in on this. If it lets me.
I have to download it, maybe?
Okay, open. Here we go, hold on. Okay. So you said read from top to bottom?
Bottom to top.
Okay. And this is all tomorrow?
Yeah, this is all tomorrow on the Fight
one.
Circus card.
Wait, they're calling this bantamweight? Oh, I see. Bantamweight Muay Thai fighter versus a heavyweight boxer. Rocky Bactal versus Tong Mo.
Don't worry about the names. Nobody knows these people. I don't know these
There's
people.
clearly open weight.
Yeah.
That should be Interesting. Fight number 2. Well, no, excuse me. Unannounced fight before fight number 2. It's a Same Mercy leg kick contest with someone named Bank versus a computer technician-looking guy, Young Bactel.
That's right. I just want to reiterate. A Same Mercy leg kick. All right.
When does this happen? Because I need
tomorrow night.
Okay.
On Cam Soda.
If you could send me a link, that'd be hilarious.
You bet your ass I will.
Okay.
I highly recommend some edibles or Halloween.
Is it gonna? Because I get off work around probably like.
I think it's normal. The last one I think was. It'll probably say somewhere on there, but I think the last one was late. So.
Okay. Fight number 2. 2 lightweight professionals. Oh, this is the 2-on-1 versus some dude named Ali Muhammad. Okay, I'm in.
Sure.
Oh, I can't read that. Does it say 100? Wait, you guys are only 115 pounds?
Yeah.
What? Okay, that just got better.
Yep.
Women Indian leg wrestling. Tracy Larby versus, probably saying this wrong, Jamaica Forsyth or something. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's the Indian leg wrestling world championship.
Also, we got fight number 4: spinning strikes and spinning kicks only.
Yeah, it's the spinning shit fight.
That sounds fun. Then we got a tag team 2v2.
By the way,
what the fuck
it's a
is
battle.
Jimmy Revolt?
It's a battle of the bands. It's 2 members from the band Jimmy Revolt. First 2 members from the band God's Fried Bananas.
That's a great name. Then you got legs of steel, kicks only.
Yeah, so only allowed to throw kicks.
Then you got 3 average Joes versus 1 giant pro boxer.
Yeah, shouts out to Panda Banks, the pro boxer.
What's up with the name Bank? They love Bank.
I don't know.
It's like Bank. Yeah. And then you got bare knuckle boxing, which is always a good idea, as the main event.
Yeah, 100%. Also, I'm not convinced that those are not weed leaves all over this. They're not, but they're like so close that I don't know what else they could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just my poll. Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern is when it starts tomorrow. Or sorry, 10 p.m. Eastern is when it starts tomorrow, Chris. So you should be all set. You'll get back just in time for some of the probably some Indian leg wrestling.
Yeah, this is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be real good. So now that we've talked about the real pay-per-view this weekend, which it isn't even a pay-per-view, it's on a fucking porn site. But we can talk about this UFC 255 card, which is also pretty good.
And it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's no Indian leg wrestling championships, but it's got some stuff.
Speaking of some stuff, the first fight of the night is a welterweight bout between Louis the Monster Cochet going up against this dude's fighting out of Hong Kong. That's pretty cool. Sasha Palatnikov.
That is cool. Also, full disclosure, I have done less than 0 tape study for this card, and that doesn't mean I did heroin.
That's why I just be smart. I have done a number of tape studies. That number is 0.
Yeah. No, I've literally not done any tape study.
So I am gonna go with the dude that's 7-0.
I mean, shouts out to Lost Boys Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. Fucking, if anyone ever walks into that gym and you don't just hear over the speakers,
look where he's fighting at too.
Little sister. No. All right. Fucking Kiefer Sutherland turning fucking noodles into worms? No, we're not.
Wait, which movie? Oh, you mean the Lost Boys?
Yeah, Lost Boys Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like Lost Boys. Oh, the vampires Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the good one. Yeah.
The good one. Yeah, I think they did like a shitty remake a while ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, this dude's fighting out of Humboldt County, so he may or may not be high.
Yeah, high as shit. 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna lean the same way, although this is the most guess bullshit of all time. So yeah, I'm gonna go the same way.
And I'm gonna go with the dude who fought by decision.
Yeah.
And the odds brought to you by Sheamus today.
Actually, wait, no, I'm definitely not. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm taking Palatnikov via decision because this dude has all first round finishes under 1 round, or all first round finishes, most of which are under a minute. So I'm not going with that guy.
Oh, the odds, according to Sheamus,
I'm
say
sure
that,
he's a huge favorite.
Yeah, Cochet is a minus 500 to a plus 375.
That's a big old number.
That's a thing. Next up, we have a middleweight bout between American fighter Kyle Dawkins, 9-1, going up against American fighter Dustin Stoltzfus.
Sure, nailed it.
Stoltzfus?
Sure. You can say it any way you want because I have no fucking idea. We'll find out tomorrow.
Not a fun name to pronounce, but it's fine. Kyle Dawkins, last time we saw him, he lost a unanimous decision to Brendan Allen back in June, or the end of June in the summer. Dustin Stoltzfus, last time we saw him, he was in the Contender Series, and he slammed someone, and the dude hurt their arm, and he won, which is impressive. I think I'm going to lean Dustin Stoltzfus.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not, mostly because, I barely remember these dudes from Contender Series at this point. But I do remember Kyle Dawkins. Oh, well, Kyle Dawkins not from Contender Series. I remember him from CFFC. However, he's been fighting in CFFC, which is a way more well-known organization than some of the places that Dustin's been fighting in. Plus, going to decision with Brendan Allen's a pretty big deal. So, I probably have Dawkins via decision. Although I'm now realizing both these dudes are fucking slick on the ground. Like, there are a ton of subs from both these dudes. And I'm guessing Stoltz is a 10P affiliate? Just based off his fucking sub history? I mean, if you're hitting Twisters, I assume you're a 10P affiliate. Because nobody else is hitting Twisters. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going Dawkins via decision, but not super confident.
Yeah, the odds brought to you by Sheamus, they're not in my favor, they're in yours. We got Dawkins at a minus 325 to a plus 250 over Stoltzfus. So take that as you will.
What method do you have on that?
I have decision.
Not like the fucking methods matter when we don't know any of these motherfuckers.
That's why I say decisions, but I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yep.
I have an idea how this next fight's going to go, I think. We got Alan Jouban, Mr. Versace himself, going up against Jared Gooden, Night Train. Last time we saw Alan Jouban, he lost a close decision to Dwight Grant in April of 2019, so it's been a while. And Jared Gooden. Oh, okay, this is his UFC debut. So, looks like he's been bouncing around promotions, but mostly he's been with Titan, at least, or NFC. Yeah, I have a feeling. I was thinking Jared by TKO. Gooden.
Yep. You got a round on that?
We'll go round 2.
Yep, same. Alright.
And the
Allen's had too many injury issues, especially like neck-related injury issues, and time off that it seems like a bad matchup in general.
Yep. And the odds brought to you by Sheamus say we got oh wow, okay. Jouban is at minus 152 to plus 126.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that this week. People are high on Jouban, and I get it because he clearly has the better resume, and when he looks good, he looks good. But as Eugene S. Robinson would call him, he's a gict as far as I can tell. I just don't know what to make of him. So
yeah. All right. Next up, we have a men's welterweight bout.
Fucking dope fight.
It was a welterweight bout between Danish fighter Nicholas Dalby going up against American fighter Daniel Rodriguez. Yeah, I remember these guys. This is gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun as hell.
Last time I saw Nicholas Dalby, he got choked out but was ruled a no contest. Let me see why. Does it say?
Jesse Ronson just recently popped.
That
He
explains
got
it.
suspended for, I think, 20 months, something like that.
Okay. Well, that's that. Daniel Rodriguez, last time we saw him, he's on a nice little win streak here. Knocked out Dwight Grant in the first round. It's just not too long ago, August 22nd, on a Fight Night card.
Oh, weird. It looks like originally on this card, Nicholas Dalby was supposed to fight the brother of the other Kos.
Oh, Crochet.
Yeah, Orion Koshe.
Oh.
Okay. But he dropped off, so he's fighting Daniel Rodriguez, which that's...
Wow, I didn't realize Nicholas Dalby's 36. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Nicholas Dalby... Well, Dalby was in the UFC forever ago, wasn't he?
That's right. I think so.
Yeah, back in 2015.
Didn't he fight Darren Till also?
Yeah, to a draw.
He did. To a draw. Yeah. I remember that fight. Okay. I think I'm leaning Rodriguez on this one.
Yeah, me too.
And...
I'm going to go decision because Dalby's tough as shit.
Yeah, he's never been knocked out. So yeah, I got decision as well. I like this fight. This fight should be fun.
Yeah, it should be dope.
The odds say Rodriguez is a minus 333 to a plus 263 over Nicholas Dalby.
Yeah. Short notice change of opponent, and Dalby, Dalby's been in some fucking wars lately, and I think that's going to be tough against a dude like Rodriguez.
This next fight, I have a very good idea of who's going to win. It is a women's flyweight bout between Antonina Shevchenko going up against...
I have a good idea, too, but I don't think it's who you think it is.
Ariane Lipski. I think Lipski is going to win by sub.
Me too. I think she's going to fuck
I think
Shevchenko's whole shit
ground
up.
game and takedown defense is trash.
Yeah.
So, that's I mean, like,
Yep.
that's how I think it's.
I mean, then again, Ariane Lipski, notoriously, speaking of Gicks, like, oh my god, Ariane Lipski, I was so high on coming in, and to be fair, her two losses are decision losses to Molly McCann and Joanne Calderwood, which were somewhat competitive, but she definitely came in with a ton of heat behind her, and yeah, man, definitely up until her last fight. Wasn't getting a ton of push, but that knee bar.
He's the one who had that fucking
the death knee bar on Lana Carolina.
Jesus.
Yeah, where she like fucking inverted her whole
Dude,
shit.
and the chick was just like, ah.
Yeah, it was one of the most brutal knee bars I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, they say it's like anyone who's never watched mixed martial arts, show them that. Okay, I'm out.
Ugh, it's brutal, man. So yeah, I got Lipski via. You're right. I'll probably go sub. I'll probably go second.
I'm gonna go second round.
Actually, I'm gonna go first.
Actually, you convinced me. I'm gonna go first.
All right.
The odds though are interesting.
I'm guarantee she is an underdog because of course she is. What's Lipsy by sub? If it's plus money, you should think about playing that if you're so inclined.
Oh wow! Oh man, wow, just wow. How?
Really?
How? Wow. Lipski by submission, almost plus 800.
Holy shit! I might play that.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Okay.
That's insane. That's way too wide.
Just wow.
To be fair, Antonina's ground game isn't terrible, but like Lipski is way better than she gets credit for on the ground, and she just really it seems like she hasn't necessarily always shown up in fights. So this could very much be a case of her getting rattled, or it could very much be a case of her making a goddamn name for herself for the first time since after the knee bar, but first time since KSW aside from that. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. It's good matchmaking. Like either way, you come out with somebody you can put a lot of promotional push behind.
Next up we have a dude who was all over SportsCenter just not too long ago for his crazy fucking knockout against Impa Sangane.
Yep.
Joaquin Buckley is fighting Jordan Wright, who is undefeated. Have you? I don't really know how to.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know how. So here's okay. It's not that hard. So it seems hard when you look at the top of Jordan Wright's career. Keep going down and looking at the promotions he fights for. Like it starts out like okay, UFC, it's pretty good. LFA, all right. LFA super solid feeder league. Contender Series, super solid. Alaska Fighting Championships, okay. Definitely some questionable matchmaking there, but doesn't mean he's not. I mean, he's winning early like he should be. Although he did fight the same guy twice in the AFC.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, well, before that it was Gladiator Challenge, which was a quick first round knockout. And then you look, what was the promotion before that?
All these are like first. He's being like fed.
Well, you know why? You know what promotion that is, right, Chris? It's San Diego's own.
Oh.
That's Explode Fight Series, also known as. Remember when Alima McFarland fucked up a soccer mom in like 60 seconds?
Yeah.
That's that promotion.
Oh boy.
So I'm going with the guy not fighting for the Can promotion.
So we're not going with...
Also, oh my god, look at the combined record of his first 4 opponents.
Oh.
5.
Jesus. So
6, 7, 8. His first 8 opponents have a combined record of 1 and...
Wait, was
12...
his one opponent... Dude, he beat
17...
some guy... 10, look at this. Look at
30...
Edward Darby.
His first...
back kick 10 seconds, and that guy was 0-21.
Chris, his first 8 fights, his opponents have a combined record of 1 and, 37?
What?
Yo,
this
shout
dude is literally
out.
the ultimate can crusher.
Dude, Explode Fight Series and Alaska Fighting Championships.
And by the way,
are
shout out
such
to
underrated can crushing
Edward
leagues.
Darby. What is your record now? 0-22, Mr. Darby. I think you should stop.
He probably did, because that was in 2015, and he's had 1 fight since. Nope, he hasn't had any fights since.
And Mr. Edward Darby here looks like he's really good at getting finished in the first round.
I mean, they're all first round finishes, except for the one that doesn't have.
Maybe they're
Except
just
for the
paying
2 that
him to
doesn't
be
have.
just a professional can.
I mean, hey, yo, I feel like I could.
Maybe he takes a lot of dives.
Man, to be fair, shouts out to Pete's Barbecue in Escondido behind him on his Tapology picture.
He's like, dude, let's be fair. That's pretty consistent. He's like, all right, man, you're gonna get ground and pounded at right before the
That's
the last
bad.
minute of the first round. Hey, man, just fall down the first 10 seconds. Okay, minute, 30 seconds, minute. It's like,
Oh, I just remembered who this dude is.
wait, which guy? Darby?
Oh, no. Who Jordan Wright is. He's the Beverly Hills Ninja. Oh, from Contender Series. Oh, fuck. Anthony Hernandez beat the fuck out of him in 40 seconds, and then Anthony Hernandez popped, right? That's what happened? Or was it that he, threw an illegal knee after fucking him up a whole bunch? I don't remember what happened. It definitely... contest. Something fucking...
So basically,
Oh, no.
Jordan Wright-
You know what? It was a 6 month suspension for marijuana.
So basically, Jordan Wright is the equivalent of that guy on Madden or MLB The Show, where either you get an early lead and your opponent rage quits.
No, they are 1,000% trying to get another meme KO out of Joaquin Buckley, and this is disgusting matchmaking.
This is really bad.
Dude, it's disgusting matchmaking.
Oh,
And
man.
also, the only... Oh, wow. They might... Wow. So they also... You got to realize, the person they had the last win over is Ike Villanueva. And Ike Villanueva is a dude who's been around for a long time getting bludgeoned. Man, this is gross matchmaking by the UFC.
Dana's like, we need another highlight.
Dude, no, 100% they're trying to get another meme KO, and it's the grossest shit.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Okay, well, obviously first round Buckley, but that's disgusting matchmaking. They should.
Wow.
They should feel ashamed of their words and deeds, as fucking Kojima would say.
Dana would be like, he's 11-0, fuckface.
I'm sure he would, and I'd be like, yo, Dana, you know what you're doing, you fat fuck.
You bald-headed prick. All right. Speaking of a fight that's not gross matchmaking,
Dude, speaking of a fight that should be on the main card, what the fuck?
Yeah, we got the Battle of Brandons. Brandon, the Assassin Baby Moreno, Tijuana's own, going up against Brandon Royval.
Yep.
Who looks like he's doing a crow or emo cosplay without the makeup.
Yeah, that shirt's not doing him any favors.
Yeah. He listens to depressed metal.
Also, the fact that his nickname is Raw Dog really isn't helping any.
I think Darren Till would like a word. Just kidding.
I mean, to be fair, he's supposed to
by
be
the way,
W.
I don't know if you saw. He apparently, since that's his actual brand now for clothing and whatnot, right? He had someone made a beer for him, and his brand is on it, and it's fucking hilarious. It shows him like going to the brewery, and he tries it, and he's literally like this. This tastes like shites, mate. And then everyone just starts cracking up. And everyone just starts laughing, and he's like, just kidding.
Darren Till's like one of the most likable people.
Like, dude, the way he just sells it, like, I think he was serious, but also like, it's all right.
I mean, apart from all the COVID denying bullshit, but yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
Is he? I don't think he's really a denier.
No, but he's just like he does that like fucking lazy white dude move of like, hey, I'm just saying, I all I'm doing is asking why we're all just blindly agreeing with something. You're like, all right, fucking take it easy, fucking eyeliner.
I think he's making fun of both sides because some of the posts.
Yeah, but like it's some of it's lazy.
Yeah.
But then again, UFC fighters not necessarily always known for being the most research or homework involved.
Yeah, no, clearly not. Anyways, let's get through this. Last time we saw Brandon Moreno, he won a decision over Kai Car-France as well as Juice Formiga, who was just cut, which is fucking stupid.
So dumb. What the fuck are they even
Brandon
doing?
Royval had a great fight last year. He guillotine choked out Kai Car-France.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great fight. This is going to be a hell of a fight. And I'm leaning Brandon Royval.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this one, to be honest.
I think I'm going to take Royval by decision, but this is going to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, man. I think I have to take him, too, just because he's been so good at finishing dudes. And, like, dudes who don't get finished. Like, Tim Elliott doesn't really... I mean, to be fair, Tim Elliott did dive on about 1,400 guillotines in that round and a half, if I remember right. But... yeah, I mean, you're catching a lot of dudes with credentials and stuff pretty quickly and pretty cleanly when he locks it up. I think it's going to be... Then again, Brandon Moreno is really slick on the ground.
Yeah, he's good at getting up, like, but with actual technique.
And he hasn't... Last time he was subbed was Dustin Ortiz in 2017. And he got caught by Luis Smolka... Oh, no, sorry. He caught both of them. The last time he subbed was Pantoja in Tough.
No shame in that.
Yeah, seriously. You know what?
Odds,
Actually, I'm going to switch. I'm going to go Moreno via decision.
I like it. The odds are Moreno to minus 192 to plus 160. Take that as you will. This next fight is, oh boy.
You got Royval by sub?
No, I got decision Royval.
Nah.
This next fight,
the rematch.
I don't even know what happened in the first time.
It was a draw because Paul Craig pulled guard in the third round after fucking up Shogun. It's exactly what it sounds like it would be for a fucking trash ass. What weight class is this? Light heavyweight?
Yeah.
It's either middleweight or light heavyweight, right?
It's light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dude coming off a win over Lil Nog, a split decision win over Lil Nog in 2020, versus a dude coming off a win over Godzimmerad and Tagalov.
I hate this fight, but I'm gonna go Paul Craig.
Yeah,
fuck this fight. This fight sucks.
Yep. I'm gonna go Paul Craig via sub because otherwise he's just gonna lose a decision.
Yeah. The odds are Paul Craig at -179 to +148. Who fuck cares? Good luck to them. This next fight is interesting, but I think Chukagian's size advantage might be a little problematic for Calvillo.
Oh yeah. Well, let me ask you a question before you get to that. Kaylin Chukagian, super.
Yeah, as far as she did just lose to Andrade, but Andrade hits really fucking hard too and goes low.
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
So my whole thing is, I think it was Heavy Hands who brought this up, but my whole thing is, Kaylin Chukagian, the way she got the win over Anthony Shevchenko was by out-grappling her.
Yeah.
She's not going to do that with Calvillo.
Yeah, not against Calvillo.
So, unless she can stuff takedowns and kickbox Calvillo from the outside, which I'm not ultra convinced she's going to be able to stuff takedowns. That's basically what this comes down to, is do I think she can stuff takedowns? And really, the only person who's really tried to wrestle her, aside from Valentina, which was embarrassing, was, or at least recently, was Jennifer Maia a little bit, and she got that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna take Chukagian by decision, but
yeah, I'm gonna take Calvillo by decision, but I feel bad as confident.
it's a
as
toss
you
up
do,
for me.
yeah.
I want to pick Calvillo, but I don't know.
I'm with you, but yeah, I'm gonna go Calvillo, but I'm not real confident.
The odds kind of might boost your confidence, considering Calvillo is a -270 to +260.
I think it's the wrestling difference is really all that it comes down to.
Next up.
First off, I'd like to say before we get to this, FMP.
Yes, I agree. Please get help. Is all I have to say.
Or put yourself in the ground. One of the two. At this point,
Let's go with please get help first.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree. That should be the first suggestion.
Please get help.
But if you refuse to do the first suggestion, I'm saying there is another suggestion. Okay. Anyway.
The other suggestion is go to an island and live there by yourself. Oh.
Sure. The island called Hell.
This moron who doesn't believe in dieting anymore or just any respect for the game.
Oh, God.
Whatever.
He trains at UFC gym Winter Springs.
I want to think Tim Means could win this
I
fight.
don't think he trains out there anymore.
But for some fucked up reason, I think Mike Perry's going to knock him out with some dumb uppercut.
That would suck. You're probably right. I refuse to pick anybody but Tim Means via knockout.
Yeah, I'm picking Tim Means either way.
But yeah, aside from that, no, I don't feel good about this matchmaking.
Who was Mike Perry supposed to fight originally?
Robbie Lawler.
Oh, you know what's sad? He probably beats Robbie Lawler.
Yep. It's all. You know what's sad is that he's allowed to fight on this fucking card. Is what's sad.
What's also sad is Darren Till couldn't be the corner man. That would have been great.
I agree, but hopefully just
that would have been amazing.
But Darren Till would have beat the fuck out of him before the fight, though.
Yeah, probably right.
Like, I don't think they would have made it to fucking fight. First off, Darren Till would have beat the shit out of him if he saw him eating that hamburger. Darren Till like, the fuck are you doing?
Man, it's the fuck are you doing? Just takes it, starts eating it for him. Those are mine.
Yeah, 100%. Meanwhile, Darren Till's just chugging vodka Red Bulls and spitting at him. Yeah.
The odds are whatever. -125 to +100 in favor of
trash.
Yeah, in favor of the Hamburglar. All right.
Nice. Nailed it.
Moving on. Valentina Shevchenko is about to murder Jennifer Maia.
Yep. What method do you got? Because it's definitely going to be Shevchenko.
I just have just dominant decision, because she just does that. She just likes to put on a show.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Missed
gonna
it
go the
last
same
time
way.
she got destroyed. She's never actually really been destroyed. So yeah, it's just gonna be a dominant
not in a
decision.
long time. Yeah, I'm gonna go the same way. I think, yeah. Well, it really depends on how much Jennifer Maia wants to commit to getting fucked up. Like, if she wants to go full Chukagian, she can or full eye, like, she can absolutely get finished in this fight. But I have a feeling it's gonna look a lot more like the Liz Carmouche fight than anything. So, yeah, I'm gonna go same Chevy Shanks via decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And the odds, I mean, they're a thing.
They gotta be like fucking 1,000.
I'll read this one. Plus 934
Yeah.
to a minus 2,000.
I mean, it's not a great style matchup for Jennifer Maia.
And that brings us to the main event of the evening, which I've seen some people take Perez. Sorry, I got the God of War here, putting him out to pasture. This dude is out of his fucking mind in a good way.
Yeah. Figgy is a weird dude.
He seems like he knows what the fuck he's doing. The dude's like a professional barber. He's a professional sushi chef or sushi. Is that the word? Sushi chef?
I think so.
And he like has a farm with animals. It's pretty cool. He's living the life.
I believe they're called sushologists.
Probably.
They're not. They're definitely not called that.
I know.
He also rides bulls.
Yep. This dude is
Goddamn Renaissance man.
I have him by violent knockout.
Yeah, me too. The problem is like Alex Perez has been looking great. I just don't know that he doesn't just get bludgeoned in the first round like everybody else.
Actually, you know what? I got Figueiredo by. I almost knocked you out, but I'm gonna fucking choke you out after that. That's what
Club and sub.
Yeah.
Club and sub is not a bad call. Yeah, I am definitely taking Figueiredo. Definitely via TKO.
What's next for Figueiredo, the winner of Royval Moreno?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else you do with that division right now.
And then what's next after he beats the brakes off of one of those guys? Then he just fights whoever's the bantamweight champion, right?
Yeah. To be fair, I think both those dudes are interesting fights for him, especially Moreno. I think would be pretty interesting, just because it's an interesting style matchup. Like I feel like Moreno would at least make it weird.
I wish Figueiredo could fight Mighty Mouse. God damn it, that'd be such a good fight.
He would get fucked up. Well,
I'm
prime Mighty Mouse. I don't know about today, Mighty Mouse. Yeah, but yeah. I'm gonna take unless Alex Perez can work leg kicks early and not get bludgeoned off a counter, which I think is
all I'm saying is
tolerable.
Figueiredo's hand speed's good, so it could be problematic for prime Mighty Mouse, even like when Mighty Mouse fought Dodson.
For sure, and his power is stupid as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing is though is like I just don't think he can blend things quickly, blend games quickly enough to keep up with Mighty Mouse. Because that's what Mighty Mouse is the best at, was just constantly transitioning between different parts of the game too quick for you to be able to keep up. Whereas Figueiredo, I think it would mostly end up swinging at air. So.
And the odds brought to you by Sheamus for this main event of the evening. We got.
Do you got an official method on that? So you said club and sub. You got a round.
Club sub round one.
First, yeah, I got TKO. I'm gonna say second, but it could be first.
And the odds brought to you by Sheamus. We got. I'm just gonna go with minus 285 to a plus 225.
That sounds about right. I mean, the thing is Perez is mostly like pretty unproven at this point. Or not unproven, but we've just never seen him against this level of competition, really. So, it should be interesting, man. Cool. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this here. But as always, you guys can find us on Twitter, TSOV Pod. We are fucking causing a ruckus on Twitter recently.
I was gonna say, I was looking at our Twitter, I think we lost followers.
No, I'm pretty sure we go up and down depending on who I'm shitting on that week. Shouts out to the Kawas, who absolutely deserved it. Just trying to blow Israel Adesanya is so bad and failing. Man, those fucking idiots. Oh my god. I'd love to see them tweet out some more fucking poll results. Going great for them so far. But anyway, we're going to wrap this, and next week we will be back for what the card is next week. I have no idea. There's a way to do this, right?
Wait.
I can get there this
We got Vegas 15. Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis.
That's a weird fight. Moicano versus Fiziev, that's tight. Mazzani versus Ostovich. All right. People thirsty out here. Boy.
Oh, wait. And then we have the one person who stole COVID supplies fighting.
Yeah, shout out to Ashley. I did say somebody make a joke that, like, yo, I had a package delivered to the wrong place, and there was a cut in the package when they gave it to me. Just straight up on some Ashley Evans Smith shit. So, all right, well, there you go. Yeah, wow. Next week's card's pretty rough, man.
Yeah.
Those prelims, holy shit. I know 3 names on the prelims.
Oh, and speaking
4.
of conspiracy kings, you also have anti-Semite himself, Spike Carlisle.
Yeah, fuck that idiot. Fucking San Diego native.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking mouth-breathing moron.
Yeah.
Just straight up anti-Semitic. Like, it's not even like hidden anti-Semitic shit.
No, he's
it's just
really
like
like
blatant
posted all over
anti-Semitic.
his
Yeah, it's
page. Like, what are you doing,
such
dude?
a fucking idiot. God, this sport, man. Maybe, who knows, Chris? Maybe we'll. You know what? Maybe next week instead we'll watch Fight Circus 1 instead of doing a breakdown for that. Who knows? So on that note, you guys, we're gonna wrap this here, but feel free to give us your recommendations for MMA podcasts that we're sleeping on. And, yeah, Chris, anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah, off topic. Shouts out to I picked up and finished. It's more or less. I mean, it's a game. If you're gonna buy the game, I got the new Spider-Man game, the Miles Morales. Buy it digitally.
Dude, yeah.
To buy it digitally, because if you buy it digitally and play on your PS4, you get it for free if you get the PS5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Also, pro tip: you can have a cool ass cat companion in that game.
Yeah, once you beat the story, you literally get an outfit where a fucking cat is in your backpack and he wears a Spider-Man mask.
That's right. Shouts to
and it's
Cowboy Ryan.
But yeah, that game was really fun. I actually had probably one of the most fun final boss fights I've actually ever played in a just in like one of those action games, whatever you call it. It was really solid. They did a really good job, and I'm really hyped for Spider-Man 2 whenever that's gonna come out.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
Sweet. We will wrap this here. I had honorable mentions, but I don't remember what they are. So, you know what I'll do? Is any of them that are on YouTube, I will add to the YouTube playlist that we make for each episode. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you look at our playlist for episode 180 of some what do they call that shit in video games? What are the crystal lizards?
Wait, which things?
I just made a fucking Demon Souls reference. Well, actually, I was going to say, like, it's relevant, but actually it is relevant again for the first time in, like, a decade. Easter eggs. That's the fucking word I was looking for. I'll leave some Easter eggs in the playlist for y'all if you're looking for it. I don't know. It'll probably just be fucking Zakamiko's Midnight Spook Show and something else, but maybe check that out. Oh, also, you know what? Actually, shouts out to Zane Lamprey's podcast returning. It's been great. I'm loving it. And, if you guys did not ever listen to the Zane Lamprey podcast about San Diego and you want to know about San Diego, go back and listen to that, because I did this week, and I just remembered he shouted me out on it. So, give that a listen. And, Chris, I think we're out of here, right?
That's it.
All right, so then everybody go get your edibles ready, get your booze ready, and get some weird energy drink ready that might be illegal, like I'm talking like that shit that you're like, how is there this many words that don't make sense together on a can? And get
Or
ready
just
for
drink Bang, which should be illegal.
Well, I mean, yeah. Actually, don't drink Bang, because if you look up that the guy who owns that is not great. But
based on how he makes the girls that chug that shit around dress, I mean,
I mean, he's
that's probably the least
he's
of his
basically
problems as a judge
Colby.
of character. He's basically what?
Colby.
Oh,
It's pretty bad. So don't drink Bang, but go get all the fucked up energy drinks and try and find some bootleg old school for locos or something. I don't know.
Whatever happened to Balls Energy?
Yeah. Oh, you can actually get those. They have them at Bevmo. You're right, Chris. Get Balls Energy. Get fucking
Yeah, if you're gonna watch the Cam Soda, get Balls
yeah,
Energy.
get Balls Energy, Moonshine, and edibles, and get yourself ready for some weird Thailand shit. We will see y'all next week. So, yeah. Go do something decadent. Yeah.
God, I don't.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Are you excited about it all?